Hello, and welcome to the CINCILINGUA membership library. This is the fourth bonus video that we're putting in the library for you. We've already done a couple videos on the present tense, and this video we're going to talk briefly about the past tense. Now, let me remind you that these bonus videos are just short videos to go over different things in English and try to make it easy to understand how we use them. The live classes and the videos of the live classes will be longer and go into more detail and give you other things to practice. So let's talk about the past tense. The past tense is used for anything that happened and finished in the past. So it could be a long time ago, it could be yesterday, it could be just 1 second ago. If I take my pen, now it's a finished action. I'm going to use the past tense. I dropped my pen. We only use the past tense for things that are finished. Okay, let's look at some information that should make it easier to understand. So in the past tense, we use the past tense to speak of a situation or action that began and finished before now. A past tense sentence should include a time in the past that the event occurred. Words such as yesterday, last week, last year, 20 minutes ago, 3 months ago, in 1999, etc., are used in the past tense sentences. If we look at these first four examples, I went to the mall yesterday. So we have two things in the past tense sentences that are important. First, we have to have the verb in the past tense. Present tense is go, past tense went. I went to the mall yesterday. The second thing in a past tense sentence that's very, very important is the time. So in this first example, the action happened yesterday. I went to the mall yesterday. In our second example, he left 20 minutes ago. So the past tense verb in this sentence is left. Present tense is leave, so leave, left. And both of these verbs are irregular verbs. I'm going to make some short videos for you going over the 13 groups of the irregular verbs. Basically, you have to memorize those. Okay, so he left 20 minutes ago. Our time in this sentence is 20 minutes ago. And the time in the past tense sentences, it's very important because even if you make a mistake with the verb, because you have the time, the person listening to you will understand when the action occurred. Okay, the third example here, Sharon traveled to Michigan last July. So our past tense verb is traveled. Now this is a regular verb, travel, traveled. And our time is last July. Sharon traveled to Michigan last July. And this last one here, Robert worked 72 hours last week. The past tense verb is worked, another regular verb. Regular verbs are easy because we just add the ed. Present tense work, past tense worked. Robert worked 72 hours last week is our time. So in this explanation up here, it tells us that words such as yesterday, last week, last year, 20 minutes ago, 3 months ago, in 1999 are used. And there's many different ways we can talk about past times, but it's very important that you use those time words when you're talking about something in the past. If I ask you some questions about the past, I can ask you, what did you do yesterday? What did you do last weekend? Where did you go on your last vacation? What did you do at work yesterday? Now, we'll review questions at a later time. But as you could hear, I'm using did and then the verb. Where did you go on your last vacation? Did go. We use that for questions, but we'll look at that in another video for past tense questions. I have some more examples that we can look at, and so I want to make sure that in this video it's clear that past tense is always about something in the past that's finished, and that we use a past tense time in our sentence. So let's look at the other examples. We're just going to mark the verbs first, and then we'll go back and we'll mark the times. I went to Nashville, Tennessee last year in December. Okay, so I went to Nashville last year in December. Our time in this sentence would be last year in December, or just last year. Where did you go last year? I ate rice and vegetables for dinner last night. So in this sentence, ate. This is the past tense of the verb to eat. So eat is present tense, ate, past tense. I ate rice and vegetables for dinner. When? Last night. There's our time right there. I watched a funny movie yesterday. This is a regular verb, watched. So present tense is watch, and past tense, watched. I watched a funny movie. When did I watch a funny movie? I watched a funny movie yesterday. That's our time. I worked from 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. on Monday. Our past tense verb is another regular verb, worked. And when did I work? I worked on Monday. My family traveled to Orlando in 2013. Traveled is our past tense verb. And when did I travel? I traveled in 2013. So when you're speaking about something in the past tense, you want to make sure that you use the past tense verb, but you also want to put the past tense time that action occurred. Okay, my sister lived in Texas from 2009 to 2014. So the past tense verb is lived, and our time is from 2009 to 2014. So we're using past tense because this is finished. She went to Texas in 2009 and she lived there until 2014, but then she left Texas. She doesn't live there anymore. So this is a finished action. I made eggs, biscuits, and gravy for breakfast last Sunday. Our past tense verb is made. This is the past of make. Present tense is make. Past tense made. Eggs, biscuits, and gravy. That's a very popular breakfast in the United States. And when did I make this food? I made it last Sunday. Now, I know it's not so exciting just to look at example sentences and find the verb and find the time word, but I'm doing this so that you can focus on the past tense sentences and see the two things that are very important to have in every past tense sentence. This will make the people listening to you understand exactly what you're saying, and there will be no doubt when the action occurred. Okay, we have a few more. Let's look at these, and we'll do the verb first. He got a new job last year. Got is the past tense of get. She visited her family last month. Visit, visited. My ancestors came from Wales. Came is the past tense of come. Now, ancestors are the members of your family before you. So you have your parents, your grandparents, your great-grandparents, great-great-grandparents, and it goes back. All those people from long ago are your ancestors. My ancestors came from Wales. I started teaching at CINCILINGUA in 1991. Start, past tense, started. I traveled to Mexico in 1998, 1999, and 2000. This is a regular verb. Travel is present tense. Traveled, past tense. My dad grew up in Virginia. Grew is the past tense of grow. And to grow up is an idiom, and it means you're a baby, you're a toddler, you're a child, where you are growing up. I played the saxophone in the high school marching band. Play is the past tense of play. I studied German in high school. So some of our verbs are irregular and some are regular. And make sure you watch the bonus video about the irregular verbs. Now we can quickly find the time in these last sentences that we looked over. He got a new job when? Last year. She visited her family when? Last month. My ancestors came from Wales. Now here there is no time mentioned, but we know it's in the past because we're talking about my ancestors, okay? And my ancestors are not alive right now. So ancestors is not a time, but my ancestors are from the past. So that's the idea of the time. She started teaching at CINCILINGUA in 1991. When? In 1991. I traveled to Mexico in 1998, 1999, and 2000. When did I travel? In 1998, 1999, 2000. There's our time. My dad grew up in Virginia. Okay, so I'm going to copy this because this is exactly the same idea. My dad is not a child right now. He grew up. So the time that you're growing up is when you were a child. So we know that that time is in the past, right? So I didn't use a word like yesterday or, uh, last week, 1999, but we have the idea of a past time. These last two, it might be easier to understand what I'm saying. I played the saxophone in the high school marching band. Okay, I'm not in high school right now. You can look at me and say, she is not a high school student. So when I was in high school, that was in the past. So when I say in the high school marching band, you know that that was in the past. The same with this last example. I studied German in high school. Okay, I am not in high school right now. So in high school is our past tense time. Okay. I hope that looking at the verbs and the time make it easier for you to see the most important parts of the past tense. So let's try to make two sentences right now. Let's talk about yesterday. What did you do yesterday? Probably all of us could say, I went to work yesterday. Okay, so this is an excellent past tense sentence. We have our verb in the past, went, and we have our time, yesterday. Okay, let's talk about last weekend. Let's have a fun example here. What did you do last weekend? I visited my friends last weekend. Okay, so we have our past tense verb, visited, and we have the time, last week. Okay. I hope this short video helps you to understand how we use the past tense and why it's important to have a past tense time in your sentence. I'm going to make another video about the past tense that you can watch, and we'll talk about answering questions and asking questions in the past tense. We're very happy to have you as one of our CINCILINGUA membership students, and I know that you're going to really enjoy the live classes. Remember that the live classes are going to be longer, and the videos will also be in the library. These are just some short bonus videos to help you review some of the things that are difficult for you. Okay, I look forward to seeing you again in the next bonus video. Have a great day.